Folks, ooh, this is interesting. We've got a double chest glitch. I don't know if I've seen that before. Whoa, what the frig is this? What is this? Hey, what's up guys? Burgerman4 here, back with the fourth and final part of my Orespawn Mod Showcase. So, in today's part, sorry, for a second I'm just adjusting my settings, but for today's part, I will be showcasing the dimensions and the different types of dungeons that can be found in the Orespawn world. For some reason my World Guardian sword was dropped there. So I believe there are something like 13 different dungeons that are added into the game. And, I don't know, 13, 15, something or other, something in the teens. And there are 5 different dimensions here. I could find all of the dungeons except for one. So I'll just, when we get to that dungeon, I'll just throw up a picture of that. And, yeah. So, I think I'm going to go through the dungeons first in the overworld, because, well, I'm already here. And as you can see, there are 5 different dimensions that we can go to. We've got Utopia, the mining dimension, the village dimension, the danger dimension, and the crystal dimension. So a whole bunch of the different dungeons can be found in the mining dimension. We have 3 different types of dungeons, I think. 3 or 4 that can spawn in the danger dimension. And we have 1 new type of dungeon that can spawn in the crystal dimension. Yeah, I think it's 3 in the danger. Also, this mod adds in normal dungeons as well, that are for the mobs that are actually from the mod. So it's got its own the dungeons I'm going to show you aren't just like the dungeons for the mobs, they're actually custom built dungeons for this, like for the specific creature it holds. So, first we're going to go to the Mantis Nest, because it is first in the list. So, here we have it. This is the Mantis Nest, and I'm actually on peaceful right now, so why don't we just change it. So the Mantis is a boss in the Orespawn world. This is what it looks like. So this will spawn some of them. A bit more than some. There are 3 spawners here. And as you can see, it looks, well, it's made out of gold ore and emerald ore, so pretty nice if you're just starting out the game, especially the loot in some of these chests. It can be pretty good. And they'll spawn in like forests or jungles, I think. But as I showed in part 2, in the bosses part, these guys are pretty difficult to fight off at the beginning, so I wouldn't suggest going here. But these chests will contain mantis spawn eggs, uranium and titanium nuggets, they'll have diamonds, rotten flesh, gold nuggets, mantis claws as well. So, you're good to go if you're on peaceful. But, come on, don't go on peaceful with this. There's no point otherwise. So, it's no fun like that. Alright, so next waypoint on the list is the Water Dragon Lair, which can be found pretty much anywhere where there's water. So, this is what it looks like, if I can get out. So it's made out of bedrock, iron, glowstone, lapis, water dragons, ancient dried water dragon spawn eggs. The water dragon is, once again, a type of boss that has 150 health. And in here it'll have 4 spawners. And you got 1 tree, I guess, and a chest which contains some really good loot. It's got it can spawn like the ultimate stuff. And the ultimate is extremely good. So if you find one of these, and you're able to evade the water dragons from the start and like grab this stuff, you can just like go underneath and get out in a snap, and you're good to freaking go. Oh jeez, you're in an escape call. No, can't do that during video. Okay, so let's go to the Goldfish Bowl, which really isn't a dungeon, but it's in the dungeon list on the Orespawn website. This is what it is. It's pretty much just a bowl with the goldfish spawner in it. There's no chest or anything. It's just sort of there for fun. So you can watch the goldfish swimming around, quote unquote, because they fly, in their bowl. So those are just really quick. We've got the play pool, which looks like this. They also spawn in oceans. These three that I just showed you all spawn in oceans. And they've got 3 attack squid spawners. Now these guys, what they do is they can have a chance for summoning the Kraken, which is like a major boss. So yeah, you got 4 of them. They spit at you. So as long as you don't kill them, you should be good. But it'll be difficult to get up here to the chest, which contains some ink sacks, gold nuggets, and rotten flesh, I guess. There's another one over here. What does this one have? Similar loot, so nothing too good. Unless you're looking for gold, it's really not worth going to these dungeons. But, yeah. Next is a place I called Dungeon Galore. Why aren't you teleporting? And it's not teleporting. So let me teleport there. You can see the Dungeons Galore waypoint from here. And the reason it's called that, I called it that, was because there are 3 different types of dungeons there that I can show you. So I don't know why it's not letting me teleport to it. But I don't know. I don't know what's up with it. But yeah, there are 3 different types of dungeons that spawned in this one little area. Those are the final 3 from the overworld. So it's pretty neat. I like it a lot that they spawn so close together. So as soon as I get there, anytime now. Okay, here we are. So this is one of these 3. This is the small beehive. And so this will spawn bees, which have like 80 health or something. It's currently really dark. So it's got 3 bee spawners. It's made up of this stuff, sponges. And look at this. Tourmaline armor, fairy sword, flower, wood nuggets. These tourmaline is actually pretty good in this. So if you can conquer the bees, you have got a good start. Next over here is the haunted house. So it's a very simple thing. It can spawn like anywhere. I think it can spawn like anywhere. It's got 3 spawners. A ghost pumpkin skelly spawner, a ghost spawner which I already destroyed, and a rat spawner. And those bees are really annoying. Okay. And inside the chest, it'll just like, it's like a small little house. You get a furnace, crafting table. Inside the chest, you can get beds, doors, more chests, some salt, coal, a chance of iron tools, maps, compasses, that type of stuff. And it's really not that difficult because those guys that it spawns aren't really that hard to spawn or to fight. Sorry. And this is the leaf monster dungeon. It'll spawn leaf monsters, as you may expect. This is personally one of my favorite monsters in the game. So once you find the entrance, this is in like spawns in plains. And so it's got some leaf monster spawners in here, which, well, look like leaves with a piece of wood, but they're actually monsters. And it'll give you a whole bunch of this stuff. So in here you've got wood, dirt, saplings, flower pots, leaves, and we've got a poison sword, which is actually really, really good. So that's very nice. Let's teleport back to our dimensions location. Jump down here into the end portal because there are actually 2 dungeons in the end that can spawn in the end. One of them I could not find, so I'll flash up a picture after I show you the one type, which I actually found like 3 of them in here. But yeah, so this can spawn in the end. The Ender Knight Outpost, it can spawn in the end, and it can also spawn in the Danger Dimension. So here we have the Ender Knight Outpost. So it'll spawn some Ender Knights, and it looks like this. So you'll get some wood, rotten flesh. I have enders and ender pearls. Ooh, this is interesting. We've got a double chest glitch. I don't know if I've seen that before. Whoa, what the frig is this? What is this? We've got an interesting bug here. Oh my goodness, if I click in this corner here, it opens up 2. That is actually really sweet. Give you paper and stuff too. So, you know, but honestly, that is a neat glitch. Wow, very cool. Alright, well, didn't expect that to happen. So the other one is the, I think it's Ender Reaper Graveyard. I'll flash a picture of that on screen now. And those are the two that can spawn in the end. And so, why don't we start off with the dimensions now? So, because it'll press both of them. So, it'll spawn from both of them. But let's go to the brown ant dimension, aka the Utopia dimension. How you can get to these dimensions is clicking on ants or Terramite. So the Utopia dimension you can go to by clicking on a brown ant. So let's see how quickly this will load. Taking a long time. Oh, here we go. And so this actually is the only dimension where you can find the king, which is the most difficult boss in this game. And so, oh, just let it load, getting a lot of lag. It will spawn at the golden ore tree, which only spawns in this dimension. And it's, just letting it load a sec. Oh my goodness, what the? What is this? Oh my goodness. What are the chances of this? I thought I was going to have to show a clip from mine and Bosco's Orespawn Survival series, but I guess not, because the golden ore tree is right here. It's supposed to spawn in every 100 of these gigantic trees here, and it is right here at the spawn, and that is the king up there. So this tree is made up of every single ore block you could imagine. It's got chests with fantastic loot. This is the place you want to be. And this is like the best Orespawn seed ever. But this is the king up here. This is his golden ore tree, which he protects dearly. He'll kill you if you're in survival. And this place is pretty much made up of gigantic trees. But I can't believe it spawned here. It's supposed to be 1 out of every 100 of these giant trees, at least. And it freaking spawns right where I spawn. That is incredible. Anyhow, so you can have like the different types of giant trees, and on top of these giant trees there will either be emerald or diamond blocks. You can find chests among them. We've got some of these giant sky trees which when you punch them, the entire things collapse. Oh jeez. And this is also the only place where you can find duplicator trees. So if you grab a duplicator tree wood, you can actually plant it to grow a duplicator tree, and when a duplicator tree is grown, I think this is actually one here. Yep. When it is fully grown, then it will be able to duplicate any blocks that you place around it. So this place pretty much has a ton of different types of trees, and it is apparently extremely lucky that this is right where I spawn. I mean, I just can't even fathom that still. It's supposed to be extremely rare, and I find it right here. How convenient. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Utopia dimension. So, why don't we spawn another brown ant to get out? By the way, dying will not get you out of these dimensions. The only way out is to click on the same type of ant with an empty hand as you did to get onto or into the dimension. So you have to right click on the ant with an empty hand. So why don't we get on to the mining dimension, which is the red ant dimension. So here we are in the mining dimension. Now this dimension, as I said, you can get to by clicking onto a red ant with an empty hand. And so pretty much this area is a world of, well, it's very similar to the overworld, except it's all mountain terrain. So it's got similar generation code, but it's entirely mountainous terrain. Sort of like with the Utopia dimension, it's like similar like terrain generation, except it's like all plains and entirely and it's got like all those giant trees around it. And wherever you move in any of these ant dimensions, you will move to in the overworld when you go back, or to whichever other dimension you go to from the Orespawn mod. So as you can see, there are also a lot of lava falls and waterfalls and such. So those can be found all around. And this is the dimension which spawns a whole bunch of dinosaur-like mobs, as well as its name would suggest, being a very good dimension for mining. It's got some extensive caves and such. So, yeah, so this is just a small little example of a cave, which looks just like any normal cave. I don't know why I was acting as if it was any different, but you know, it's called the mining dimension. So, yeah. So why don't we get to our waypoints here. We have the Basilisk Layer, which looks like this. It looks like sort of like a pyramid. I'm saying like a lot. It's got some bedrock stuff here and some obsidian. So as we go down, I'm just going to grab Extreme Torch, which isn't really too much different than an actual normal torch, but you know, it's got Extreme in its name, and it looks cooler. So why not use it? So you have to travel down for quite a bit, and you'll come to a hallway like this, lit with extreme torches. And inside here is like an obsidian labyrinth filled with lava and stuff. But a lot of the stuff in the Orespawn mod is actually a ton easier when you have the morph mod and you're able to fly. So if you have the morph mod, you're good to go with a lot of stuff in this. Especially when you get to the tier dungeons in the danger dimension, which I will get to when we go to the danger dimension. So, at the end of this labyrinth, somewhere, you'll find the entrance to the actual Basilisk Layer itself, where all the basilisks hide out. So, that's what you're searching for in here. That is your aim, your goal, and I am not finding it. Maybe the mini-map will help me out a bit. Maybe. Probably not. It's not doing much for me. Come on. It's just over there, come on. Oh wait, I think I might see the entrance. Possibly on the mini-map. No, I've already been here. Come on. Where is the entrance? Okay. Well, this isn't being very cooperative, so maybe I'll either A, speed up, or B, skip until I find it, or C, I'll just mine my way through here. I think I'm going to do that, maybe. I found it. So for some reason there aren't any basilisks in here. They are supposed to have basilisks. Or there are supposed to be basilisks, but... So where was the little cavern I was supposed to come from? Well, I don't know where the dinner this is, so that's fine. But anyhow, so once you reach here, which is supposed to be from this entrance here, not broken in, there are supposed to be like 4 or 5 basilisks in here, which are these guys right here. There's supposed to be like 4 or 5 of these guys protecting it. Apparently, there are none here right now. So, you know, but the floor, this place is like entirely made up of obsidian, and then you've also got a little bit of lava over there in the corner. This sort of gigantic. And it also has random teleport blocks in here, which will randomly teleport you 15 blocks in any direction. As you can see, it just screwed me over and left me over here where I don't know how to freaking get back to that place. Come on! Why won't you let me? Oh, here we go. There we go. So it's also like the bedrock roof there, but whatever. And in these chests are some very good stuff. Oh, 3 ultimate bows. It'll give you some ultimate armor, and it will also give you some uranium stuff. And it looks like it'll give you corn dogs, titanium, ruby, blaze rods, just a whole bunch of awesomeness. So this is definitely a good place to raid. Anyhow, I've spent too much time going on that. Let's go to the Shadow Dungeon. So, the Shadow Dungeon, which should be actually spawning boss mobs now. It looks like this, bedrock and obsidian pyramid, above ground. And when you get inside, Let's see if I can find an entrance or something or other. Well, I ain't seen an entrance. Oh, well, you can just break the obsidian. So this thing spawns Ender Reapers and Nightmares. So, Nightmares can be extremely difficult bosses. Ender Reapers aren't too difficult, as you can see. But we've got, looks like 2 of each in each corner. So that makes for 4. Oh, geez, that's a giant one. My goodness. And it's made up of all this stuff. So, you know. And inside these chests are, let's see, Radium, Titanium, Netherward. Oh, Rat Sword, Nightmare Sword, Squid Zuka. Some more Netherward, Glowstone, Hoverboard. So, spawn Nightmare, the Ultimate Bow. So this is pretty good stuff. Oh, rubies are really good. So it's got some pretty good stuff. Not quite as good as the other dungeon I just showed you, but still pretty good. Next, let's head off to the Kaiyubi dungeon, which sort of looks like this. It's just got some, let's change it back onto normal. It's just a little sandstone thing sticking out of the ground. When you drop down here, you'll find there's a little water pool here with lava on either side. And this is just a giant cube of netherrack underground. And this is a very nether-like place. So you've got blazes spawning, you've got the Kaiyubi boss spawning here. So we have 3 Kaiyubi dungeons? Or not 3 dungeons, sorry. 3 spawners, and inside this chest you got all this random crap here. And we've got a whole bunch of blaze spawners up here, looks like 8 of them. So you're gonna want to be careful, and if you go here, you better have on fire resistant stuff. And here's some fire related stuff here. These chests will give you a whole bunch of fire related stuff. And I don't believe there's any, like, this isn't hollow or anything, so there's really no point in mining this obsidian, unless you want obsidian, of course. In that case, you go right ahead and mine it. But that pretty much sums up the Kaiyubi dungeon. Not too much. I mean, it's still worth a go at it, but it's not incredible. Next here we have the Beehive. Earlier on in the overworld I showed you the small Beehive. This is a larger Beehive made entirely out of gold and coal ore. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 bee spawners, and inside all these chests will be similar stuff. Butter candy, sugar, gold nuggets. Looks like we've got some pink tourmaline stuff in here as well. Spawn bees, paper, just a whole lot of that. You'll find flowers in here too, but pretty much just that stuff. And some fairy swords as well, maybe. So nothing too spectacular in here. I'd suggest if you're going to take it down, just take it down for the sake of saying you took down a Beehive. So, yeah. Here's the final dungeon in this dimension. The Alien/WTF dungeon, which is made up of lapis lazuli. It's just got a little bit of that ore outside, and I seem to be liking it. Oh, there's a couple of the shadow dungeons over there, and it's similar to the oh, what is it called? The Basilisk Layer. I forgot already. And down here is a bit different. You can hear these guys. So this is the design of it, made entirely of lapis lazuli, and it'll have these creatures, which are WTFs. Oh jeez, that's a lot of spawners floating. And, ooh, looks like some pretty good loot. That's, oh, very good loot. We even got some bacon in here. Bag of popcorn. So it'll spawn aliens, which are these guys, and WTFs, which are those other guys. So, aliens are a bit more dangerous. They apparently take out my torches. What the frig, alien? I don't like you. So it'll have some larger areas and such. And, oh my goodness, this noise, my... But this is the type of stuff that spawns in here. I think you get the idea. I'm gonna, like, freaking leave this place. Because that... My goodness, this noise is incredibly obnoxious. Oh, jeez. Alright, sorry about that. Just that little silence there. I'm just taking a drink of my coconut water. Now let's get back to the dimensions. And why don't we go to the village dimension, which is the rainbow ant dimension. So here is pretty much a dimension entirely of plains that spawn villages, of course. What else? And pretty much, I really don't care for this dimension. I don't find it very much fun. You'll spawn some trees, and as I said, a whole bunch of villages, apple cows, pigs, gazelles, I'm lagging. And pretty much the only fun thing about this dimension, other than the fact that villages spawn like a whole bunch, is that Mobzilla, the second most powerful boss in the game, is able to spawn here naturally. And this is the only place, and I am getting extreme lag because this is taking a long time to load. Let me just pause the game for a second there, let the chunks load up. As I take another drink of my coconut water. And so this is the spectacular village dimension. This is literally it. Obviously not the small, but it's this type of stuff that, and it just goes on and on and on. The same stuff. Pretty boring dimension, and just not much to talk about. Oh yes, also the robot bosses will also spawn here. So this is the only place you can get the freaking ray gun. So there's a use to come here. Also for naturally spawning Mobzilla. And if you want to raid some blacksmiths. But that is, excuse me, that is pretty much this dimension. And let's get back to the overworld. And I'm actually going to save the danger dimension for last, because it is the, okay, I'm getting a ton of random lagginess here. I'm actually going to save the danger dimension for last, even though it's next. I'm going to save that for last, because it's the coolest, in my opinion, and got a whole bunch of stuff in it. So we're going to go to the crystal dimension, which is the termites. And you can actually, unlike the other dimensions, you cannot go here with any overworld items. So check them out of your inventory before you go, and then, yeah. Just, if you have any overworld items in your inventory, you cannot come here, you're not welcome. But this is the crystal dimension. It's really weird, made up of all this crystal stuff. And so pretty much, yeah, this is the crystal dimension. And there's one type of dungeon I can spawn in here, as shown over here. The rotator dungeon. It spawns rotators, and it's got a chest on top. So it's not really too much of a dungeon. This is it. And it'll give you some crystal energy and some spawn rotators. So, the crystal dimension, though, as you can see, is made up of these crystal trees, and this crystal grass, I guess, and this kyanite. And down below, as you can see, there's these bedrock little places here. And you can actually get some other stuff here. Pink tourmaline. So this is, you actually can't really get into, except for some rare places where there is actually an actual opening. And this place is pretty much a bedrock place that'll give you a whole bunch of chests with random stuff in it. So, there you have it. But the only way to get in here is through these random little spots where some kyanite breaks through. And what is making that nibbling sound? Nibble, nibble, nibble. I think it's the rats. Yeah, this place is infested with rats. It's a shame. Oh, blue crystal flower. But that is mostly all this dimension has to offer. It's got also the boss, the vortex. But that's about it for this dimension too. Ooh, quinoa. So, let's click on the termite again. And we will go to the danger dimension. The final dimension in this game. And we will visit the final dungeons too. So, alright. Teleports. Lag it a bit. So, the greater danger dimension, sorry, is the unstable ant, which is the brown and red ant with the white legs and such. So this is the danger dimension. It's got a whole bunch of floating isles. Got some dead looking trees. I'm getting a lot of leg spikes. Got some random lava here. These are called dark floating islands. And these islands will give you some random ore spawns underneath. And all over the place you've got these dungeons. This one sounds like it's a scorpion dungeon because it's got frog noises. So there are a whole bunch of these random normal dungeons that'll give you a whole bunch of random crap. In this case, it's giving you a whole bunch of spawn eggs. So you can go to these if you just want a small amount of stuff. And they're just like regular Minecraft dungeons, so they don't count. We're going to go to the big boys here. We've got the Cloud Shark dungeon, which spawns Cloud Shark, or 2 or 3 or 4. So these are Cloud Sharks, pretty much flying sharks. And in here you don't get much, and it's really high in the sky. So these are pretty much crap and not worth it whatsoever, because these guys are annoying as crap. And they really are just, no. These are not worth it, because they give you crap loot, and these guys are really annoying too. Look at them, they're infesting the sky. Anyhow, so let's just hop down, and we'll get to the mini dungeon, which is this. And the mini dungeon is just sort of a practice dungeon, so oh, it's got our little butterflies, and we've got a couple of lurking terror spawners with some pretty good loot, I guess. We got some bacon. But this is one of the practice dungeons, or, oh, excuse me, mini dungeons. Now, the real bad boys are the tier dungeons. We've got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6. Just happen to have a tier 6 dungeon. You can tell which tier it is from how many bedrock sections there are. I'm turning it to peaceful for a second to get less lag. If it's got 1 bedrock section on the top, it's 1 tier, 2 it's 2 tier, 3 it's 3 tier, 4 it's 4 tier, and so on and so forth. This is the 6th tier, which is the highest possible dungeon. What the frick, I thought it turned it on to peaceful. Oh my goodness, Mothras spawn unpeaceful. What is this? But this is the top area too. And I'm getting some lake spikes, but these actually start spawning bosses up here on the outside. These top 2 are bosses, and so is at the top as well. It's pretty much what you want to do. This thing is pretty much impossible without Morph Mod, which I used in survival to get through this. You gotta fly, otherwise you're freaking screwed. But here you've got scorpions starting from the bottom, and don't worry, you don't have to break through the bedrock. There is always an opening in the bedrock area, and I'm getting lake spikes. Let me just like destroy this before I spawn, so as to make less lag. Okay, where is this opening? I swear, there's always supposed to be an opening, but I can't find it. I bet you it's going to be extremely obvious once I break through this bedrock. Okay, that's a block of gold. And that's more bedrock. Here we go. Well, there's always supposed to be an opening, but apparently there's not. So this one, if it's tier 6, it'll spawn Sephadromes. So I'm going through the tier 6 levels. The ones at the top will spawn, like the very top one will spawn at tier 1. The very second to top one will spawn at tier 2. So actually all the best loot is for some reason up here, which is actually sort of easier to get. So this is all the Royal Guardian stuff, which is the best stuff in the game. You get the Prince as well. So you can be done here after, oh, I'm riding a Sephadrome. You can be done here after only having to go through one little section. I'm too lazy to find the other parts. This one looks like it spawns jumpy bugs. And it'll give you a whole bunch of random loot. This one looks like it's just giving you spawn eggs. I don't know. I don't know where all the little holes are in here, but this is, what is this? Oh, Hercules beetles. This is, I think this should be T-Rex. Nope, Basilisk. Okay. This next one is, if I can get out, this one is T-Rex, I think. And this one is the worm. Actually, this, oh yeah, see? There is a hole here. There is a hole where you're supposed to go through. I told y'all. But this is actually the worms. In the tier 1 dungeon, it isn't worm. It's actually just an Allosaurus. Or not Allosaurus, maybe an Allosaurus, I don't know. But it'll give you all this stuff, and then you can get out, and yeah. So that is basically all of the dungeons and dimensions in the Orespawn mod. And with that, this concludes my 4-part segment of the Orespawn Mod Showcase. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, a like and or subscribe is greatly appreciated, whichever you feel necessary. Go download this mod right now. It is fantastic. By far, one of the most well done Minecraft mods there are. And Minecraft is gonna crash just as I end the video, but that's fine. So, anyways guys, hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, greatly appreciated. Like and subscribe, not like and subscribe. I don't know what I was saying. And Murgaman4, over and out. And I will see you guys later.